name is Eric King, and he played. Do you remember that story where he didn't wake up for a game against SG?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Eric King, this Brazilian streamer, used to play for Anoobs. I think he left the team, might have gone back. I don't know the full story, but yeah, it is a Brazilian team.
I see him. Yeah, he was playing in the qualifiers. They were one series away from making it into the lower division here where Inverse is. Poor Eric King, they lost playing Wraith King. Wow.
Would you believe it?
Would you believe it? Inverse did play a silencer, though.
We had a coordinator issue. We're trying to restart the lobby. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It did fail. I'll try again in a minute.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Cross your fingers, everyone.
Server is a little finicky today, and the final countdown as it looks like we are good. We got banners, we got players, and we've got casters. Let's dive a little deeper.
Beautiful.
Into the
All right,
jungle.
can you guys guess the average rank of Inverse?
241.
176.
All right, Zaire is much closer. 187.
Oh!
Against
Trent doesn't know anything about
and-
pubs. What a dummy.
And I went over, so I lost my Price is Right rules as well.
Yeah, you're close to Crewmates rank. Their average rank is 245.
That's what I meant. Was I like one off? Did I say 246? I was
There
on the
you
wrong
go.
team.
Oh, they
I
banned
see.
the IO. Respect from Inverse.
Okay. Well, I guess the cheese cuts both ways, right? If your cheese backfires, that's a real feels bad, man. But winning with cheese, well, it's equal but opposite. The other team also feels really bad. So I respect it. You know, Inverse not going to let them get away with one of their comfort zone wild picks.
Why are they? Why are you banning Nix's first pick?
Good
Well,
question.
Because they're about to
I was literally
big brain
about to
something huge here.
I was literally about to say the sentence. Well, they can definitely use that IO ban because they have first pick anyway, so they don't want to ban things like Nyx. That was the sentence I was about to say. And then they just why?
5 seconds.
Well,
This is my guy. This
delve
is who
into
I
reserve
want.
time here. They seem to have already drafted themselves into a corner.
Why don't you start? All right. So they played the Grimstroke in their win versus 0900. And obviously they just like the hero, but damn.
Yeah, maybe they just really want to play a strategy around this Grimstroke, which I'm assuming is a 4. But yeah, I think for you not to pick Nyx, you really need to have a strategy around another position 4 that you're really comfortable with, right?
Yeah, maybe they just like Earth Spirit or something a lot.
Yeah, that said, you know, it feels really good to have Nyx if the enemy is picking Shadow Shaman, so not that sure about this ban. Okay.
I'm looking back at their games, and when they have first pick, they just ban Nyx. They don't care. They pick Tusk or they pick Undying. Wow.
So they feel like it's overrated. I respect that.
Really
I mean, they still ban it though, so I guess they do rate it pretty highly.
Yeah, but their first pick, so I don't know. I guess you're right. I got nothing.
They just
it hurts
don't
my
like
head.
running it, maybe.
Is that a thing? We don't have a Nyx Assassin player. I'm sorry.
Like, basically, someone who just doesn't believe in it.
Dire team pick.
Early Tiny.
There is some merit to the fact that Nyx isn't really flexible. Like, yeah, whatever. You might be able to run 3, but Tiny can go mid. Even Earth Spirit's probably a better core role than Nyx Assassin still. I guess that could be some logic to it, but we wind up with the Wraith King, who is pretty good versus the Tiny, core or support, because he's just someone that, if the blow up happens, you might have another life.
Yeah, and if Nyx is banned, you don't really have to care about that, so you do have the work cut out for you. I love this draft. I think this is very straightforward. You know, you have a Shaman 4 that can push, that can fight, and you have probably one. I mean, T-Bun said that the hero feels like he has 90% win rate, and he definitely does. So I love it. I feel like Crewmates, they're doing pretty well so far. I'm not sure about this Tiny pick on Inverse. I feel like after they nerf the multiplier on toss so that you don't do that much damage, I don't feel like support Tiny is that good anymore. And if you just go for this early of a Tiny, I think you can get countered.
Toss is just a shadow of its former self now. It's kind of depressing.
Team
I played a tiny game the other day, and I was shocked at the differences. The cast range, it starts at 850. You guys know how small 850 is? 850 sucks.
Yep.
Dude, if you
Like-
could go back in time 5 years and queue up a tiny game, I think you'd be stunned.
It was it 1600 level 1
10
or
seconds
something crazy?
remaining.
Or maybe it was only 1300.
Wait,
Either
was
way,
it
it was
worse?
freaking huge.
I think it
5
was.
seconds remaining.
Yeah.
It was gargantuan. Like I was playing level 1 and I was like, "Oh, hey, go stand by the pillar so I can toss the range creep." And then I looked at it, I was like, "Oh yeah, right. It's 850 now. Can't do anything. Where's my cheese strats?"
Radiant
Depressing.
team
Toss to
back.
the pillar, this guy.
Yeah.
We got a Dota boomer here, everybody.
It's been a while since I played Tiny, all right? It was very
Boomer
shocking.
alert.
All right. They take Timbersaw out.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds remaining.
Right. What is the chance we'll see Grimstroke 5 here,
seconds
guys?
remaining.
I know it's first pick. I'm sorry, Grimstroke mid. I know it's first pick. I know it's not that good, but I just want to see someone doing it. I don't even think it's that good.
Dire
But
team ban.
I just
don't
like
think
watching
Inverse
it.
is the team to do it. It only really works when you get some huge value out of building the E-Blade. I think that's the issue with it. The item build is very predictable.
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing is it has to be the root. Like something that where like the root is really good. Well, not the root, but the leash is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe there's like
Yeah.
a core pango or something, or maybe one of the spirits can make it a little bit better.
Oh. True.
Radiant team pick.
Invoker.
All right. Analog Invoker.
Pretty
Classic.
nice. Buff up that Wraith King. I know we saw him in the early phase last series. So makes it through. A lot of carries banned out this time.
Well,
a
that
couple,
Nick's
I guess.
assassin hero, I tell you.
Remaining.
You ban it like this, you just
5 seconds.
he shuts out
remaining.
so many heroes when you just take him first phase. Well, why do you do this to yourselves? You hurt me. You cut me deep, Inverse. All right. All right. Who's left? Puck is still in. If they gives you a lot of options, I think at this point in the draft, could be 3, could be mid, good versus the Invoker.
I
Downside,
really like Puck here.
yeah, the only downside I can say is you don't really have scaling damage versus Wraith King, but I mean you should be looking for your 1 to really answer that hero anyway. So yeah,
Mhm.
Puck just seems
Ricky's
kind of
still in the
nice.
pool as well. Wonder if Ricky Grimstroke pretty good, but they'll get the Mars.
So yeah, this way it's more like, okay, well, Mars is here. Now I don't like Puck. I'm not a big fan of doubling up Mars and Puck if they have any like really tanky heroes that are super annoying. So
A lot of initiation now, of course.
10
Tiny
seconds
and Mars.
Radiant team
Basic
pick.
stuff for Inverse and a quick
That
pick for
was-
Crewmates
yeah,
in
this-
position 5 Doctor.
that was the easiest Witch Doctor pick of my life. I was looking at it, I was like, there's no other 5. Like it's just he's the answer, man. Mars Tiny. What else do you want? I could see Undying if he wasn't banned. So yeah, just Witch Doctor.
10
Easy
seconds
peasy.
remaining.
I'm trying to think of this Wraith King here and what Inverse
5
can do
seconds
about it.
remaining.
I feel like Terrorblade is really good versus him, but you are against that Invoker, so he can control the illusions pretty well. Until the late game, he does handle TB nicely. And you do have the problem with Sunder. If you do lose mana, not going to be able to use it.
Radiant team ban.
Void Spirit
and
then
the Spirit.
our mystery carry remains. All right, we got Ricky. We got illusion carries like the TB, maybe the Naga or something as you were mentioning.
Life
So Juggernaut.
We got Life Stealer still in the pool, shockingly not banned.
10
I mean, I
seconds
actually want to bet if we will see a Life Stealer until this league, because I really feel like I'm trying to hype this Life Stealer up.
Yes.
But
That is a bet
no
I'd
one
take.
really
I think
cares.
we'll
It's
see
kind
him
of like the Venge. No one cares
pick
about it in
once.
South America.
That is true.
But Venge probably much better than Life Stealer.
Lycan
like-
band. Ursa's still in. There's a lot of carries that you can choose from here. There's like even a Drow Ranger if they wanted to go that route.
That actually seems interesting here.
10 seconds remaining.
Crewmates, they
5
need an off
seconds
laner, right?
remaining.
So they're going to get that last pick.
Dire
Do you
team
bend
ban.
the... Okay.
Oh, maybe they are going Ursa. Veno, they banned Veno. Ban Ursa. Ursa has some issues this game, honestly. I don't even know if I'd want to be Ursa.
Yeah, I don't.
I actually
don't
think
really
they
like
might go
it.
Weaver.
10 seconds remaining.
On Inverse?
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is I don't think you'd ban Veno if you
5
want Weaver,
seconds
though.
remaining.
Although I guess
Yeah.
Veno's just annoying in general, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you about Ursa, but I think some teams just hate playing against Veno. It's especially tiny, right? It can bot your initiations.
Yeah, even Mars doesn't really like it. Probably doesn't want to get a pipe. So
The other thing is,
Radiant
there's still
team
Troll,
pick.
actually,
can you
too.
take the TB out?
Mm-hmm.
Dire team pick.
I'll just take Jug.
Oh.
Super simple.
Veno's also annoying against Jug. Obviously, he has spin, which is nice, but the slow is...
And the Plague Wards can kill your healing ward
Yeah,
really easily.
For the healing ward. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like super simple.
Great draft for Inverse, though. Very well-rounded.
10
Pretty good
seconds
tempo.
remaining.
Like this a lot.
What do you get here if you're
5
crewmates?
seconds.
I don't know. Their lineup just seems kind of basic.
Yeah, they need a better stun. I feel like Witch Doctor and Shadow Shaman, they're just gonna
I think-
get eaten alive by the Void Spirit with the Grimstroke.
I think crewmates could go Enigma, or they could go. Oh, Legion's actually banned. All right, good. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. I guess
Enigma
Enigma's like
versus
kind of
Grimstroke.
greedy. Is the only downside.
Yeah, I feel like the lane is hard. Grimstroke just destroys the Eidolons with his
Yeah.
Q if he maxes it. They could go for it. I think it's a good offlaner, and there's not a lot of offlaners left though. No Tide, no Beast. They might just get it actually.
Oh, it's got to be something
Center.
better. We can find a better hero. Is there anything else
Center's
that
not
pierces
good here.
BKB?
Slardar?
Sider's like kind of decent. Oh yeah, we got Axe. Axe pierces BKB. That's not bad. Axe Shadow Shaman's like all right.
Okay.
Axe
we
with the
have
low
seen that
cooldown
Axe pop
initiation
out.
would be nice.
What about Darkseer's
Underlord.
not good here.
Underlord's still in too. He's like kind of okay.
Hmm.
The Root versus Void
Well,
Spirit
what
can be
a
annoying.
glowing endorsement.
Slider.
Hey.
All right.
Your
Bring him on.
heroes.
That's good. I like the
Wow.
Slider for the lane.
Mhm.
Just like be a bully, punch the jug, be frustrating. Low cooldown spell.
right.
Nice minus armor
Yeah.
versus like the tiny two. That is not someone who can mess with you.
I still like the Inverse draft, though.
I still don't like it. I don't know why. I know what you mean. Like they look like pretty decent heroes, but for some reason this combination is not doing it for me.
The support tiny is really what bothers me about their you ban Nyx and you get tiny. I can't really get behind that, honestly. Tiny is not a great position for right now. And I don't know, I'm gonna believe my crewmate boys. I did go against
Okay.
them last series. I feel like this is what I wanted from them.
5
A
seconds
standard,
remaining.
more straightforward draft. I think they have it here.
Trent, do we concur?
The only issue I kind of see is like maybe the double range supports. As long as Invoker, I mean, Analog's an Invoker player. Yeah, this is fine. I'm going for crewmates. I just
Okay.
feel better about their draft. I'm not 100%
for
certain
crewmates.
why. I just feel like they have a lot of options. I really like the Slardar pick. And
Well,
yeah.
Trent, as Theben would say, you got to trust your gut when it comes to Dota. I know
I'm
what he
gutting.
would advise you right now. So that's good, man. You trust your gut. We'll see if it pays off. I'm going to stick with Inverse. I believe in the Juggernaut. Some good, basic, textbook Dota here about to come out in game number 1. Just you boys wait, because that's what's happening. Now, Gary, darling, I want to know what your thoughts are. I already told him what Theben's saying. What are you saying, Gary? We must know. I want to get in the head of the...
I mean, Trent, he's not quite sure why he likes Crewmates draft. There's a Wraith King there, the most simple decision to make. You're all in on the Wraith King. You know he's been picked first phase. You go back to your thoughts about confidence. You're confidently first picking Wraith King. Theben, are you riding or dying with the true king?
Listen, I'm riding with the king, and this time it's not because of the king. I think it's because of how their lineup is so cohesive, right? All their lanes are powerful. You got the Witch Doctor, Wraith King. Like these guys against a double strength offlane duo is gonna own. They're gonna own them. I think. I hope they do at least because they should. And then you also got the Slaughter plus the Shadow Shaman, which is a really powerful lane. Juggernaut is not gonna really stand a chance against the Slaughter. Ideally. again, these are, I've said a lot of stuff already in
In a perfect world.
Yeah, in a perfect world, but South America has surprised me quite a lot. So there's that too. I just think their late game looks good. Their early game looks good. You got the Sunstrikes, or sorry, what is it? Cataclysm with the Aghanims with like 4 disables in your lineup. That's what Trent is feeling. He sees your lineup, he's like, holy shit, these are a lot of stuns. How do you bet against that?
It looks like we're going to be using those stuns early on. That smoke up from Inverse gets them a high ground observer ward, which I'm pretty sure the Wraith King saw, and that's why crewmates are so backed up and have retreated away from the staircases,
30 seconds to battle.
afraid of what's coming over the hill. And Tiny even thinking about dewarding his observer, because he's pretty sure they saw it too. And position 4 Tiny, Bowie's saying, the ban on the Nyx, the pick on the Tiny, doesn't feel amazing as an inverse kind of draft logic situation. How we've seen a lot of mid Tiny do very, very well, but pos 4 Tiny is a different beast.
Yeah, I think maybe it was a little too harsh on Tiny because it has a flex potential where Nyx really doesn't. Like that's one factor, I guess. And yeah, Tiny's still a pretty decent hero, but I understand the Nyx, it just feels so good right now. It's just awkward to not pick it up when you have the chance. And I also think Radiant lineup, they're a little too all in on the early mid game. Their late game is just not as strong. The Juggernaut, I think, is going to be pretty countered by the Slardar.
Even like the Wraith King to some extent, right? Because you can't just Omnislash kill him, he's got 2 lives. And Wraith King packs a punch with that crit.
And he's going to have an Abyssal later too. It's going to make it really hard for Juggernaut to maneuver around in the team fights.
Yeah, true. Well, early toss into the creep wave puts Flash at about half HP. Witch Doctor's job, soak up all that damage away from his Wraith King. And he will be up against that Mars as well. In that mid lane, we've got the Void Spirit against Invoker. Analog up against Noah God. Pretty decent early days here for the Void Spirit, getting CS, but can't really do too much against like Quas. When he gets Quas level 2 or 3, Analog's just like chilling in lane.
Yeah, and his name is actually Noah God. Like, it's not that his name is Noah and you're calling him a god because he's a god gamer. He calls himself a god.
Self-attributed god name. Yeah, and then down at bottom, Shadow Shaman Slardar. I think this is probably the more interesting lane. All that disable, the lane matchup up against the Juggernaut. Sweetam, so far, 2 CS on the Jug.
Yeah, in this matchup is extremely difficult for Juggernaut. Every time he walks up for a last hit, he's going to get bashed in the head. And it's going to do a lot of damage to him. Once he's level 6, after spin, or even if you remove the Corrosive Haze with the spin, it's just going to get reapplied on top of you.
Yeah, and that's if you don't get hexed and shackled up first, right? This Shadow Shaman, you were talking about the build the other day, going just like 1 in Ether Shock, right?
Yeah, exactly. If he gets a lot of disables with maxing out the Hex and the Shackles, it's going to be really nice as well. It's a good combo. You use the Corrosive Haze, you stun, then you drop the Serpent Wards, and the Serpent Wards do so much damage with that minus armor as well.
Start ripping into people. Tiny, again, tossed back into the Avalanche. God's Rebuke and Spear onto D-Flash. He's got a Fairy Fire.
Fairy Fire.
Pops it, but still dead. Tiny there with the big old punches. 65 base damage average. Takes him down. Wraith King only with 9 CS up here as well. Both safe lanes struggling to secure themselves farm just because of how strong the offlane duos are set up here by both sides.
I think Flash just needs to stick around in the lane instead of running after the Tiny. Like, this is what Tiny likes. Tiny likes it when you chase him and then you stop him from like blocking and stuff. He just gotta focus on the lane and try to shut down this Mars. Get that level 3 so he gets a level 2 Maledict right away and just kill the Mars.
Yeah, play the lane.
Yeah, and this is why they're not doing so hot on the Wraith King right now. It's because I think Witch Doctor is just spending way too much time chasing the Tiny.
And it's a Tiny with boots as well, so he really doesn't. The boots and Windlace, he's sprinting around. Rolling in, causing problems. Yeah, once they do hit level 3 on that Witch Doctor, definitely change the tide up in that top lane. Invoker and Void Spirit Still looking real good for Noah God. 27 and 5. Again, it's one of those
Seems
expected
very
things. Cold Snap coming out. Just dissimulate, get away from it. But Shadow Shaman from that right-hand side going to be matched by the Tiny's rotation. And yeah, Invis rune for the Rasta.
It's going back bottom.
I don't think they know which rune this was. They didn't have vision of it, did they?
No, they did not. Maybe they would. No, they definitely had vision of it. He was in the mid lane, the voice spirit. So the mid can see all
toss
the way
back.
to that bottom room.
D-Flash gets the Maledict on 2 of them. Wraithfire Blast from FCR is there onto Tiny. It's good damage, and they should be able to burst him down. The Spear does find the Witch Doctor, at least taking him out.
Tower is under attack.
And the Maledict's going to pop him. Shadow Shaman with that Invis rune came bottom. It will open up an attempt here from Hijack to kill the Grimstroke, but he had a Fairy Fire in the healing ward with 5 stick charges. So it looks like that Shadow Shaman just got a little bit too big for his boots.
Looks like bottom lane is not going so well anymore for them after the shaman left for the bottom rune and died. Hijack will get the bounty though. I think they just need to keep focusing on this bottom lane. If the Slaughter can get to level 5 with good farm, pick up that power treads, the Jug is just going to get completely kicked out of the lane. And that's what they got to play for. Don't give this guy any room.
Get that momentum. Keep playing aggressively. Because then you can rely on your Invoker rotation to actually shut things down completely. So good when that Invoker, level 7, level 8 or something, goes for the TP into a side lane. And he's got an Observer Board, but doesn't spot the Tiny because he was smoked up. Avalanche Toss combo finds the Invoker, so no rotations for him. Meanwhile, down bottom, it's the spin from Sweetum. Hijack goes for the crush and the runaway. Inverse. Grasping back some of that control in the laning stage.
At this rate, they're pretty much losing 3 lanes. Like top lane is won by the Mars, mid is won by the Void Spirit, and just getting kills on this bottom lane is good enough for them.
And it's funny how, you mentioned that Shadow Shaman rotation, the rune control, like it started off good, but the knock-on effects of that, they've become very apparent. It doesn't affect the top lane so much, but the TP in mid from Witch Doctor will as he tries to defend Analog's Invoker. Another toss from Tiny, but he's turned around on by the Maledict and the stuns. Far too deep. Another TP
Good
was
reaction.
coming there. Cancelled by the Shadow Shaman as they thought they might need to bring more numbers in. But it's Tiny that dies to the Maledict in the end.
It's very good. Don't let your Invoker die again. He would have had no TP when he revived. Get that kill. Witch Doctor is a perfect hero to stop this aggressions from melee heroes. What I want to see, you were talking about the Invoker rotating, right? I want to see him go kill the Mars. Like, this is the kind of hero that needs to be shut down early on. And Invoker, I think we talked about it in the previous series, is an incredible hero at ganking Mars.
Especially now you've got the urn up on him. He wants to get those charges going reasonably soon. So going up to top lane could be a real good idea for him. Tiny spots the Witch Doctor. D-Flash getting comboed and thrown back into the Mars. Good cask though. It's going to bounce back between them. Gives him a little bit of room. Tiny snipes out the courier, but Witch Doctor actually gets himself through all the burst damage. While mid lane, Invoker was caught up in an Ether Remnant, but he gets into Ghost Walk in time. Things getting a little bit hairy here though for the Dire team. Everywhere you look, there's this aggression from the Radiant. Invoker gets the Cold Snap onto Noah God, but he'll just be able to bottle back up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And already, Theban, 8 minutes in, your Wraith King is back in the jungle. He's not laning anymore.
Oh, he's been in there for like a couple of minutes now already. he has not been able to lane the moment Mars hit level 5. He's like, I'm out of there. Yeah, I think they really played poorly in this top lane for Team Crewmates.
And they're diving mid.
Oh,
Void
nice
Spirit.
kill on Void.
Walks into the
Casual
Wraith King.
Yeah.
What's he
All the
doing
mad
there?
tips. He's like,
Is under attack.
Oh, but the return tips are coming, maybe? Oh, the Wraith King makes his way out of there. They have that
he
really
didn't skill
great
his
observer
reincarnation
ward.
either. He scaled up his others. He scaled up his Mortal Strike. They didn't go for the reincarnation. Just wants to optimize his farm.
Oh, yeah, so he did. That one observer sentry pair saw the trio of heroes up top. watched them smoke, saw them coming across.
Radiant's bottom tower
A
is
good
under
vision
attack.
defending the Wraith King in the jungle. And he'll actually retreat back to his triangle for now.
Yeah, I don't like these early kind of smokes from the Mars, especially when there's nobody in your lane. You should just focus on shoving the lane in and hitting the tower, so you force somebody to TP up there. Then you either choose to kill that guy, or if he's unkillable, then you make the rotation. So a lot of wasted movement on the side of Inverse here, and not getting all that free farm he had available to him.
You're like forcing
hurt
your
him later
opponent's
on.
hand.
His top tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
exactly. That's what Dota's all about, man. If someone's giving you something for free, you know, make them regret it.
Are fortified.
There's also a lot of like first mover disadvantage in Dota as well. Like prime example is when you're trying to lane switch. The first person to TP is disadvantaged because the opponents can react, TP, walk across the lanes, get that advantage. And it's a similar thing when you're defending towers. You know, if you're reacting to a tower push, you're TPing one by one, and you don't know exactly how many heroes are there waiting to strike
Radiant's
upon you.
bottom tower is under attack.
You just have to value sometimes, you know, what's better for your team. And a lot of people don't really consider it. They just like kind of get the first idea that comes to their mind and just go with that. And that's when they get hurt.
Dire are scanning.
Dire scan
Radiant's bottom
does know that
tower
Radiant are
is
stealing
under
those bottom
attack.
bounty runes. Looks like Juggernaut actually gets one of the top ones. Might actually be 4 of them for the Radiant. Tiny closes in on Slardar. They've got the Mars cutting him off at the pass as well. That's a Hood Slardar with a bracer and a couple of stick charges.
It's very
Tossed back
tanky.
into the Mars. He is incredibly strong, and they've got the Invoker rotating in as well. But he's silenced up by the Phantasm Embrace, and the Arena of Blood's there on hijack. But the Bashes, they're killing off this Mars. Gets away from the crush and spears the Slardar back up against the side of the Colosseum. And now the toss. Invoker's low. The Void Spirits come into play. They drop the Serpent Wards down, and the fight is brewed into this beast that Tiny will drop in. Serpent Wards clear him up, and FCR, the Wraith King, he's arrived. Astral Step, the cooldown, 2 seconds for Noah God. Should be able to dissimulate and jump northwards to get away, but he's been stunned up on his way out. The cast lands, and this Void Spirit is maledicted and ticking down. It'll be Wraith King with the help of the Hex to clear him up.
Very good reaction there from Crewmates to help out that Slaughter. And poor decision on Inverse to go for a Slaughter with a Hood and Power Treads. This guy's gigantic, man. You ain't killing him. He is hella strong, and especially if you don't have your Juggernaut there, like Omnisatch is pretty much the only thing that can deal a lot of damage to him. Juggernaut doesn't really want to go bottom. He wants to split push top, get that farm, and hopefully they're gonna be able to open up the map bottom now inside of Crewmates.
Radiant's bottom tower
It's an interesting
is under
place to
attack.
fight as the Radiant, right? Bottom in front, like very, very far in front of your tier 1. You're not really
Yeah,
straight up
very-
defending the tower. You're looking for a pick-off.
Terrible place, you mean, right?
Radiant's bottom
Yes.
tower has
You were
fallen.
just being nice by saying
was ju-
interesting.
I was just setting it up for you to give the very clear,
Dire's top
concise
tower is under attack.
analysis.
Wow, thank you. Appreciate it. The alley oop.
An easy setup. But now at least that bottom tier 1's gone, so Wraith King's got a little bit more room. What's he got actually? Phase, stick, triple branch, quelling. This is the build.
This is the build. He knows it. I mean, he's gonna have Radiance about what, 16 minutes? Yeah, that's a pretty decent timing. Juggernaut's also doing well though. He's got the phase with Maelstrom build. There we go. I like that.
Hell
No
yeah.
more power treads, Juggernaut shenanigans. I'm actually so
Phase
done
boots.
seeing Juggernauts with treads.
Not your favorite thing?
I really dislike it heavily. If you're not going phase boots, just buy boots of travels then. I'd rather see boots of travels than see power treads.
Grimstroke buying a smoke. Mars and Tiny are all getting into position mid for it. And they still need a fair amount of money to get these blink daggers up and running. Mars is a good 800 away from it. Tiny is millions of miles away from that initiation item. But they'll still go together. Waiting in that mid lane.
They're really confused on the side of Inverse what to do next. They got the top tower, they got the mid tower, they know bottom tower is pretty much impossible to kill, so they're really unsure what they should do. And I can help them out here, you know. In this position, the best
Hunt
thing
the
to
Wraith
do
King?
is like get a smoke, yeah, hunt the Wraith King. Maybe just go in there, just poke your head out, just touch him a little bit, maybe force the hand of crewmates to try and come and help him and then disengage. If you touch the Wraith King, like you can't really hard commit into the kill. And but what I mean by touching him is like you just see what the reaction of crewmates are, and
Give a
then
bit of a
you just
poke.
play off of that. Yeah, exactly, and that's good enough. Like you don't need to just sit back and wait. Sometimes, just making a little bit of plays like that, forcing their hand somewhere, opening up the other side of the map because they're gonna TP a bunch of heroes,
Exactly.
and playing off that is really good.
Because it's like the expected value from that smoke isn't really that you're looking for a kill. It's making space for the Juggernaut.
Yeah. It's like Dota people think sometimes it's just all about kills, you know, or taking objectives. It's much more in depth than that.
Top lane, Shadow Shaman. He was in an interesting spot there. Again, I'm using the word interesting. He was hiding away in the trees. He looks like he's going to get sliced down
He's
by the
looking
giant.
pretty dead to me.
He is absolutely dead. Yeah, the backup not coming fast enough for crewmates. Still in their jungle. As an Invis Void Spirit makes his way up the high ground. Maledict cast, crush in, they go.
Oh,
Time's
that
gone.
damage.
The blow up on them is beautiful, but D-Flash is traded back, and now the two-man Soulbind comes in with the dust. They see the Invoker, the Slardar running, but they don't have the gap closed. They don't have the chase or catch because Mars wasn't there.
They were hoping if they got the Corrosive Haze on the carry and then went to the Death Ward play on him, that would have been so much better. But you know, they didn't get the Tiny. You saw how much damage that did? The Corrosive Haze with the Death Ward?
Yeah.
That is another combo as well. It's a combo I'm familiar with. So they got two of them with the Slaughter. Actually, Slaughter is just working, has high synergy with all of their heroes. Even Invoker with Alacrity later on, and the Forge Spirits is going to do work with the Corrosive Haze.
It really was a great last pick, especially with such limited options in that draft. All of the offlaners have been banned except for like him and Tide or Centaur.
Yep.
You know, Beastmaster is
Shout
gone,
out.
everyone else is gone.
Shout out to Zayori, man. He saw it coming a million miles away.
We saw the Slardar. But yeah, back to that conversation. It's also where
Juggernaut.
oh is he in trouble? Sunstrike with the bashes, the crush. They got the disables. What level exort? That's level 1 exort. Still able to put a bit of damage forward as they avalanche toss. Combo in onto FCR. Wraith King's Reincarnation, though, we're going to set up here for a turnaround fight with the Death Ward Maledict bouncing in. But the Mars Arena blocks the damage, so it's not going forward towards the Radiant team. Wraith King still going to hit and crit. Lifesteal back a little bit, but he's found by the Mars. Left behind is Noah God, hexed. Self-Yules is one charge and a dissimulate to get out of this one. The chase back. Slardar wants this Mars so badly, and he'll get it with a bash. That final touch. Aether Remnant allows the Void Spirit a bit of space to TP home. Barely out of range of that Hex from Shadow Shaman. In fact, TP'd mid.
Very nice play on them, though. I mean, they lost the Juggernaut, but they tried to make their own pressure play. They casted the skills the best that they could, but Crewmates, they're really good at reacting to the pressure. Like, it's so quick, even after that kill that they made on the top side. So, altogether, pretty even engagement. Wraith King now gonna be back up with that Radiance and farm this nice, juicy Ancients and big camp stack.
Yeah.
What a nice change, isn't it, Gary? This Radiance being able to farm Ancients.
It's so,
Use
it's so good.
damage rate Ancients.
And then he's built up all those Skelly stacks too. But yeah, that magic resist on Ancients, it helps so many heroes. Just clear through the Ancient stacks much easier. Well, he'll leave the triangle now. Leave his skeletons to clear up the mess he's made. And top lane, Shadow Shaman is baiting real hard here. And move in onto him. Slardar's like, well, I was dangling you as bait, but I kind of don't want to jump in anymore. Realizing the Wraith King is not actually going to make his way top. Same staircase,
And
bit of
the
deja
same hill.
vu. They do get the Mars Arena, but counteracted by the tornado. He's
my God,
dusted,
a Tiny.
speared. Tiny cleared up, but they lose the Invoker in the trade, and now a Yules cancels out that Witch Doctor with his Death Ward, and they're just left all alone in the middle of all these Radiant heroes to take him out.
Nah, that Invoker, it was a good jump there for the Mars. Going straight for the Invoker, bro. Exactly who you want to be killing up first. And that Tiny ignored the Slaughter that was on top of him, slaying his ass. Tried to run into the Invoker and just died to the Slaughter alone. Didn't even
he's
manage
alive
to get
again.
any spells off. Yeah, he needs to farm on this Tiny. This is something I noticed. Like,
Oh,
mid
the
though
disables.
first.
Hex and Shackles cancelled now by the Avalanche, spearing the Slardar up against the trees. Shadow Shaman, that God's Rebuke, just slays him. Slardar, he's already popped his hood, no one charge is left, but the Maledict and the EMP coming in onto Mars, they'll tornado
Good
them
tornado.
up. Tiny lands, and he's going to die after that Avalanche. Wraith King, level 13, joins the fight. Make sure the crewmates can now stampede forward into that tier 1 tower, which is already low HP.
No Mars Arena. Void Spirit instantly at least able to live there.
They're coming in! Soulbind and the Juggernaut making the move forward. They do Blink Crush, only catching the Void Spirit though. Noah self-fuels and they've killed off D-Flash. Juggernaut, what's he up to? On the Invoker with no Omni Slash though. He's Corrosive Haze, then he's going to get bashed, crushed and stunned. The Wraith King burns him with a Radiance. And now onto bigger targets. The Noah Void Spirit. He has to simulate. Oh my god, no he doesn't, he's dead! Invoker found by the Grimstroke. Meanwhile, Mars is here with an arena, but he can't do this alone. He needs more backup. Slardar and Wraith King, they know this. Toying with them as they want that tier 1 so badly.
They lost to Mars and the Tiny and they still decided to fight. Oh, that was really tough.
And now the two-man crushed with a blink from Slardar, speared back, but FCR
The slows.
moves forward. The Hex on to the Mars. They change targets. Instead of going for the Tiny, they force the Mars Arena of Blood, but he's still going to die in the side of it all. Burnt alive by FCR's Wraith King and slapped into the ground. Tiny gets another toss forward. They can't really go for more. Yet again, halted.
Huge fight for Crewmates. They're doing so much work with this Radiance. And the Slaughter is just feeling absolutely amazing in this game so far. I'm very surprised Inverse actually tried to take that engagement with the Void Spirit and the Juggernaut, considering Mars and Tiny were dead, they didn't have Arena, and Reincarnation on the Wraith King was still up.
And they didn't have
Both of
Omni
those two
Slash, did they?
They did not use it? I can't even remember. The fight was like, it feels like it was days ago already.
Because like the Juggernaut spun in, chased the Invoker, and I clicked him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Omni Slash was on CD for like 60 seconds. And it really was an odd decision.
It's just, exactly, it's just terrible to even take that fight to begin with. Without the Mars. This guy is pretty much the core of your team fight. And finally we get to see the Tiny actually farming some creeps. He's been sitting on like 1,400 gold for about, I don't know, I want to say 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Just not taking over any lanes. If you play Tiny, you have to, especially once you hit like that 1,200 to 1,400 gold mark, just take a lane. Doesn't matter how like long you need to stay in that lane. Just take the lane, farm your dagger, and then you have a key item that your team will smoke with.
So important just to be a little bit greedy. Because now,
Oh, he's dead again.
he's let the Void Spirit take the lane.
Oh,
He's
man.
being selfless.
Yeah, that's terrible.
He dies there and loses out on a bit of money. I mean, how much did he lose? 88 gold?
A lot. It's a lot for him.
Killing off the Witch Doctor. Juggernaut spins. Silence the Slardar, so he can't do anything with his crush. Witch
Just
Doctor
flying
actually
back like that.
buys back. Does that indicate they want to go Roshan,
Roshan?
or?
Yeah, it
Smoking.
looks like it. I mean, he definitely didn't need to buy back for this. He could have just waited. He wasn't dead for that long.
Ooh, Shadow Shaman, still smoked. He wants that Void Spirit. Serpent
Oh.
Wards. Okay.
Oh, that... Oh,
Uh,
that is very bad to see. Yeah, they could have just used these wards to go into the Roshan pit. Drop the Corrosive Haze. He's already level 14, so I got that level 2 Haze. You know, you got the Invoker with Force Spirit and Alacrity on Wraith King. They could have just baited a fight out in there. But now they bought out the Witch Doctor for nothing, and the Shaman has spent his wards.
and Juggernaut has 3 heroes smoked behind him. Tiny blinkers coming on Courier. Inverse. Feeling like they're hitting a timing now. Double blink. And ready to go. But nobody's in this dire triangle. The crewmates all grouped up as 5 north. In that other jungle. Sunstrike scouting out the Roche pit. Now, crewmates know exactly what's happening. There's Juggernaut just sitting in mid lane. There's people around him for sure. That's why they put the Wraith King on the front lines, having 2 lives on this carry with Radiance, and honestly very nearly has a BKB. I struggle to see how they break the front lines.
This Wraith King just feels unstoppable right now. once they finish this item, I think they should just smoke up and run straight into Inverse's triangle area and try to control that up. Like, even if they didn't want to go for Roshan, they should have at least walked into the triangle with how strong they are right now. I don't like how they're just playing on their side of the map with these huge Wraith King power spikes.
Yeah, because they could be top lane taking tier 1 and then going into the triangle, like you mentioned.
Yeah, they're just giving so much space for the Juggernaut to get to his next item.
Which is about 1,200 gold away from the Aghanims. It's also a timing for the Radiant, right? That smoke with the double blinks, they were meant to find something. So both teams kind of sitting back a little bit, and now Shadow Shaman, the fact that his team didn't connect with him top means that he's dead. Gone for 45 seconds, no tier 1 top take, Serpent Wards are off cooldown and ready. Miss synchronization.
I assume the communication from Crewmates is like, okay, we got 2 BKBs coming, let's just farm those BKBs and then do something after that. But you could always farm aggressively while being next to each other. So you're taking farm away from your opponent while getting your items.
Great tornado. Witch Doctor's still dead to rights, but they get the arena.
BKB.
The BKB from Invoker.
A little late. It was a little late, so he still took a lot of damage. Yeah, he's gonna need to wand here. He can walk out of the arena. They gotta walk together though, the Slaughter and the Invoker.
They have dust on Mars, so he can't really ghost walk. What does Wraith King have? Wraith King has his own BKB.
I think they're good. I think he's good. There's a cast bouncing between those heroes.
Okay.
There are illusions, but I think Invoker should be able to get out by using his magic wand.
Just wand and run.
Alright, type 1 in chat if you think Invoker's dead. 2, if he's alive. Or 3.
The server crashes and the game ends. And we never know. We never know what happens. The coin lands on its side. It's just a Schrodinger's Invoker. You put Invoker inside a Mars arena with a capsule of poison. Close the arena. You don't know if he's alive or dead. This was a pretty good move in from the Radiant team, though, wasn't it? Getting in towards this mid-tier 2, but it also blocks off any Roshan attempts, and Juggernaut is still farming top.
Definitely. I mean, this is something I've noticed with Crewmates now. Oh, okay. The game is unpausing soon. Is that they're a really good reactionary team, especially like throughout the game when somebody's getting gone on, but their offensive attribute, not their best.
Yeah, you were right. Invoker survives, and they're actually able to turn it onto the Void Spirit. He's got a couple of cooldowns coming back, so FCR and his BKB actually doesn't end up being too useful. Inverse still lurking around the Roche pit here as Witch Doctor dead for 40. Shadow Shaman TP's mid, trying to regroup around the Wraith King again. But this Radiant High Ground Observer Ward sees everything they could hope for.
Doesn't matter, it's a Wraith King.
It is, it's still a Wraith King. Void Spirit's in with the Inkswell on him, they've stunned him. Trying to take that first life, but it is difficult to collapse onto the Wraith King. Finally done, but the Shackles and Serpent Wards have found the Tiny off to the side of the fight. He's been shredded by the Serpent Wards, and Wraith King just walks it off, while the Slardar, he is in a 1 versus 4 scenario now. Shadow Shaman can maybe help out a little bit. They get the crush onto the Void Spirit. Tornado clips them too, but the spin onto the Shadow Shaman should secure the kill here. The Shackles buys a bit of space, but he's still gonna come crumbling down until the blink stun. Slardar back in with a reinitiation spear on the Wraith King. Sends him back, so he can't give chase. Mars blinks away now. Thanks to that spear, meaning that the Radiant's burn won't stop his blink dagger, but Slardar, he's got his blink back. In we go with a blink on Wraith King. They found the jump on Mars, and the Crewmates killing 2 huge core heroes.
Yeah, in the initial play onto the Wraith King was really nice from Inverse, but they were not able to cancel his blink as he was getting out of the Aegis, and the Juggernaut didn't have enough mana for Omnislash.
Oh no.
Yeah, throughout that whole fight, by the way, he did not have enough mana for Omnislash. That is absolutely terrible.
Clarity's time. Oh, this Slardar is hunting. Just in case there was any jump coming in. He was ready, but Invoker gets the Aegis now. So you've got 2 lives on Wraith King, on Invoker. Slardar is basically invulnerable at this point.
I really want to see Crewmates play on Radiant side of the map. This is their time. This is their time to shine. Time to take the tier 1s, even the tier 2s. Like, keep making them try to fight you. Ooh, Mr. Caps, what's up, man?
Yeah, he was
He
down
is
there.
always-
Bottom rune.
Radiant's top tower.
He's been playing alone. I feel like his early game was good. You know, he got his Aether Lens at a decent time, but these pickoffs that are happening on him should definitely be mitigated. Try to play more around your team, and because the Shaman's dead, it looks like crewmates are uncomfortable to continue to push on any further.
Yeah, he's playing kind of like, I don't know, a pos 4 puck, but as a Shadow Shaman, right? He's going to these lanes where he's trying to shove the wave out real hard, but he doesn't have blink, he doesn't have illusory orb or phase shift or anything, so if he gets jumped by a tiny, no ways of escaping.
It looks like he's drawing the lines on the map to go bottom. Wants that tower. Sweet Tam here with the
Omni
quick
slash.
flash.
So, yeah, very quickly on top of the Witch Doctor.
He has Omni still. It was just the Aghanims there, yeah.
Yeah,
Radiant's
Swift Slash.
In case people are like, what? He just Omni'd. Where's
For a
that
Witch
Omni
Doctor?
again?
Wasting
Oh,
ulti
no.
for a support? Surely not.
Reported. You ever have those days, or like in the old school Dota days, you know, people used to write in all chat, lol, 2 ults for me, or like 3 ults for me, you know?
Yep. Waste all on me, and then what?
And then you're still losing the game.
But it's still funny because you're a
Is it-
support, and they know that you're the most powerful hero in the game.
It's more like you're writing that, so maybe next time they won't try to kill you. You know, it's like some mind games. Like, please don't kill me. I'm tired of dying all the time.
It's like, haha, you killed me, but you were inefficient in doing it. Try better next time, nerds.
Radiant's
Please don't
bottom
ulti me
tower
again.
has fallen.
But I really would like to see the Shadow Shaman play with his team, like this kind of 4-man
Yeah,
smoke.
definitely.
Under attack.
Because then you have the option, like Wraith King can kind of bait bottom lane, pretend he has 4 heroes behind him, and then has the ability to TP to top outpost, and they're going to find jump on Mars. Straight on him. Aghanim Scepter's there for the slaughter as well, making a nice big puddle. Drown the Mars in it.
I think I would have rather seen the Sada go for a BKB. So there's Aghanims.
Onto the Wraith King they go, realizing that a lot of the dire heroes are top.
Got a BKB.
They take the reincarnation, but you're right, he's got BKB and he's able to tank through a lot of the Omni Slash, trying to bounce it into the Witch Doctor,
Oh,
and they
pass it to the
save him.
Doctor.
Pass it over, and now Juggernaut spinning into them, but the Voodoo Restoration, the heals are there. Where's the Soul Bind? It comes now with a good avalanche,
nice balance.
holds them back, toss the Slardar away from this aggression, and the healing ward will keep the Radiant sustained, allowing them to go for another jump again with the Swift Slash there. They kill off Shadow Shaman. Invoker Ghost Walk to get away, and the crewmates losing both of their support heroes without really gaining anything. It's the buyback from Mars, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very... the reason why they couldn't do anything is because the Wraith King was the one being jumped, right? So he had to use all his abilities defensively. That was pretty much just a save the Wraith King mission. And they managed to do so, so...
Oh, Elven
Pretty
Tunic.
good, considering the situation. Tunic. Oh, wait, he keeps the Tunic instead of the...
What do you have
Instead the
before?
Cloak. He had the Cloak of Flames.
Oh yeah.
The Burn. Prefers the movement speed and the attack speed and the evasion. Yeah, it's a good. Those are good stats. I just thought maybe Sauter would have wanted that item. Amazing on Sauter.
Super good. I mean, I guess it's good against, good on both of them against the Juggernaut. So maybe they're just prioritizing Wraith King matchup against Jug.
Yeah, it just feels like the Cloak is just so value with this Radiance. Just keep running in, burning everyone.
Invoker. This is a buyback Mars, but Slardar was just a little bit too far away to reach the blink. Now they see the Jug mid though. Blink Crush. Good spin to get him out of there, and this Wraith King has already BKB to sprint forward. The rest of his team have other ideas. They fell back, it didn't give chase properly though, and now the Healing Ward with a toss gets the Wraith King away from the Juggernaut.
Yeah, they want
Felt
to try
like-
and burst that Jug, but yeah, like you said, too early with that BKB usage.
Dire's top tower
It also felt like a bit of miscommunication. The other 4 heroes were ready to retreat after Jug spun and got to high ground, while Wraith King was just like, nah, I'm chasing, I'm going in.
Dire's top
It's a bit like, oh, I used my BKB, gotta get the most out of it
Yeah,
kind of play.
I used it, so we've got to use it. Juggernaut, the arena, the blink out, only catching Witch Doctor with a spear, but the toss in actually puts the Wraith King there with a dissimulate forward. The Void Spirit's gone deep, looking for that invocability BKBs. The Soulbinds ended in the shackles, in the Serpent Wards. They've got the Grimstroke all trapped up in a great tornado, clipping the Tiny in the back as well, with the Swift Slash arriving. There's an Omni Slash, the full one. Juggernaut slays the first life of the Wraith King, but the two-man stun comes in again from the Slardar, and Wraith King just burning through them all. Juggernaut has slain the backlines though, with the Void Spirit helping out. They've cleared through the Invoker, Shadow Shaman, and Witch Doctor, but they lost their Jug, and the Tiny's being hounded. The Slardar, he's got the scent, he's on the trail, he's looking for him, but Tiny blinks away. Scrappy fights, and it feels like everyone has very clear targets they're going for. But in the end, Crewmates with Wraith King and Slardar still alive. Gotta feel emboldened by the way they can just tank through all of the onslaught.
Yeah, Witch Doctor also died back in that last engagement. They did get more kills on the side of Inverse, but while the Juggernaut's dead, it's not able to get any item progression going. It's pretty much stuck on this Mjolnir until Crewmates decide to stop playing aggressively.
How good is this Slardar Aghanim in the shot? Because he's just picked it up.
Yeah, it's okay, I guess. I mean, you got a little bit of buffs, you got some armor, but I do feel like a BKB is just much better.
Oh, no, I mean the shard, sorry, not the scepter.
Oh, the shard. I thought you said scepter. Okay. 5 seconds to units hit with the Slithering Crush. When you go to lanes, I think the haze gets applied first before the crush damage comes out, so you can also push the lanes out a little bit quicker.
And like you were saying,
Overall,
the synergy with Death Ward and Serpent Ward. Just Blink Crush. Oh, Wraith King. Isolated. Reincarnation
Again.
down. Slardar Invoker very far away. They are distant. The Yule's onto the Void Spirit, and the blink away from Wraith King actually resets the fight, though. Now, Witch Doctor's the one that's out in the open. Swift Slash as the
Slardar.
Tiny. Inkswell onto the Slardar, connecting inside of his puddle. Avalanche, but the Slardar's so bloody tanky. EMP is going to be dodged by the Dissimulate. The Radiant, they are hungry for more. They want this team fight with an arena. They just can't find the full brawl that they wanted.
Yeah, this Axe actually makes it so Slardar really can't die in the river as well. Just so much HP regen and armor. They went on the Witch Doctor, but Slardar too slippery. Slippery little fish. Or big fish, actually, this game.
He's slippery and he's really difficult to wrestle down as well. He's got so much body mass. 3,000 HP on the Slardar.
I like that, wrestled down. I just imagined wrestling down a giant, like, fish.
Have you seen... Do you know what noodling is?
No.
So it's when people go, like, fishing for catfish, but they don't use, like, a rod and line. Like, they don't use a hook to fish for them. They go with their feet and their hands, and they stick their hands and feet into holes and mud in the ground to find these big, fat, like, motherfucking catfish. And they literally, like, wrestle them. Like, they wrestle them out of the mud to catch them. And they're gonna try and wrestle the Juggernaut like a catfish stuck in the mud. Now he's just shredded! Sweetum's gone! The Mars has his BKB going, he tries to bulwark and run, but the Bash of the Wraith King has him locked in place, and a double kill for FCR is going to make it into more. Void Spirit with a Remnant stops the Grimstroke from being annihilated, allowing the Ghost Scepter with the Cold Snap stops the TP, allowing that Slardar to crush, and a triple for the Wraith King. Roshan
Really
is also up again.
They're playing very aggressive now on Crewmates, and I like that. No hesitation one bit. Just go right in. Get the cores in front. You know, let your supports do the stuff from the back. Lead the way. And now they're going to buy back on Grim. This tower is looking super dead.
Yeah, no buybacks on Juggle Mars. Oh, the best part about noodling is that it's not just putting your hands and feet in mud and wrestling with the catfish, but they actually put their hand into the mouth of the fish so they can drag it out by hand.
Jeez.
Yep.
I mean, does it not hurt?
I don't
when
know.
They bite?
These Americans are wild, man.
Crazy.
Like it's in like the south of the USA, I think they do it. They're all, you know, wrestling alligators and punching catfish. They love nature out there. Cheese and Aegis time. Wraith King with a full assault cuirass, and he's pretty much got Abyssal finished if he wants to spend the money for it. Just needs a little more.
It's very good play from Crewmates, just backing off the racks and going to secure the Aegis. I really can't see the angle for Inverse at the moment from the position they're in the game. if Crewmates play this perfectly. But I think maybe if Inverse get a smoke out, go onto the back line, get rid of that Invoker first right away during a stun toss combo, and take the fight from there. They might have a good chance. The Invoker and the Shadow Shaman are pretty much the two biggest kills for Inverse.
There's so much of the teamfight control comes from them. Like, all of the teamfight reset as well. Like, this Tornado, the Serpent Wards, they're all distractions. Chaos being created. But it is the death ball of Crewmates that's top lane, and they want a tier 2. The only tower standing outside of the base for the Radiant right now. But it's nice to see Void Spirit Juggernaut. They're not cowering, they're not hiding. They are out, pushing lanes, continuing to farm. And they've got to know the inevitable push is coming. As the Serpent Wards thrown in onto the high ground. And Wraith King with alacrity. 400 damage per hit. Exactly 400 damage per hit.
It's enormous. This combo is very strong together. Invoker, Wraith King.
And they need some kind of backstab play. They try to come in from the right-hand side. The Omni Slash, no. Swift Slash onto the Slardar does very little as the Mars Arena. They've caught up onto the Witch Doctor and slain him. It's the plus 5 down. But the Wraith King has the stuns. The Abyssal Blade catches up onto Juggernaut, and Sweetnam's gone. No buyback for him, a double for FCR, and this one has been shut down completely. The Alacrity Wraith King is too much to handle with the Cataclysm landing. It's Analog. They'll snipe out yet another kill, while Hijack secures the 5-man wipe, and the tips come towards Noah God for the 10th time this game.
That was a good play from Inverse. Try to go onto the back line. Juggernaut got met with the Slardar, which is really good from Hijack there. Then they try to go in and kill the Shadow Shaman, but that BKB for Shadow Shaman and just shackling up the Jug, they have no way to stop that anymore. Pretty much getting, Bane's gripped. He wanted to get a nice Omni there in the end. Wasn't able to, and that was it. I mean, you saw in that late game, like, even though the net worth was only 5 or 6k gold, it didn't really matter because they had so much damage through the Slaughter, Corrosive Haze, and then the Alacrity of the Invoker. So the Wraith King net worth, even if it was like 24k, it looked more like it was 30k plus just from those damage abs that they had.
Yeah, it was huge. And the fact that you've got these two heroes, Slardar and Wraith King, that you need to commit everything. You need Mars Arena, you need the Avalanche Toss just to kill them once. And then the rest of the supporting cast comes in for Crewmates. A good, solid victory there for them. 1-0 up in this best of 3. So we'll go to a break, jump to the panel, and return with the rest of the series.